Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. I'm from Kuwait, which consists of number 1 Agustina Rahayu Ns, Nuro, Wiladiyah, and Rangga Tuwuh Jatmiko. Would like to present about the research design based interpretative or descriptive qualitative. Definition of basic interpretative, descriptive qualitative. A basic interpretative and descriptive qualitative study examples all the characteristics of qualitative research discussed above. That is, the researcher is interested in understanding how participants make meaning of a situation, phenomenon, and this meaning diminished through the research or instrument. The strategy is inductive and the outcome descriptive. And in conducting a basic qualitative study, you seek to discover and understand a phenomenon, a process, the perspective, effort, view of the people involved, or a combination of these. Data are collected through interview, observation, or a document analysis. Characteristics of basic interpretative or descriptive qualitative. A. Sampling technique. Sampling generally uses a purpose sampling technique with several definitions such as maximum variation sampling, which is believed to be more appropriate to reveal a lot of insights and broader information. B. Data collection. The data collection strategy for the QT study was carried out by conducting interview involving individuals and or groups which by interview with several study reported that the data were obtained using the participant observation approach. C. Data analysis. The data analysis technique uses are content analysis and thematic analysis because they are considered the most appropriate for qualitative descriptive design. There are also studies that the constant comparison technique and the combination of content analysis with content comparability. The aspect of basic interpretative, descriptive, qualitative. There are three distinct key aspects of descriptive interpretative data collection qualitative research worth at this point. Number 1. Although data collection in qualitative research is generally to use phrase its categories to sort data, always have focus is naturally driven by specific research question. 2. Qualitative interview are distinguished by the intentional giving of power respondent. It's the sense that they become research partner. The interview tries to empowering respondents to take the lead and pinpoint percentage to phenomenon they see. 3. The triangular strategy is often used in the kind of research where data were collected by various methods, or interview and observation.
Okay, and the next is data collection of basic interpretative, descriptive, qualitative. Okay, and the first is interview. Interviews was conducted with direct conversation with teachers and students as respondents to obtain additional information needed to strengthen research data. The interview technique used of this study was semi-structured interview, which means a combination of structured interview and unstructured interview. And the next is observation. This data collect technique is used to capture the data needed to complete the interview data. According to Sutopo, observation is an observation activity carried out by researchers who go directly to the research location so that they really understand the data need. Okay, and the last is document analysis. Okay, the technique of collecting data with documentation is data collection obtained through document related to research problem. Okay, and the next is analyze thesis. Okay, and the title is an analysis of TEFL practice in different settings, a case study at Tohir Yasin Foundation in year 2020-2022. Okay, and it is for background of study. Based on result of interview and observation at Tohir Yasin Islamic Boarding School, TFL conducted by English teachers brought informal and non-formal contexts are quite good by using interesting learning method. However, there are problems that researchers found. First, lesson plan still need improvement. Second, the facility need for learning such a language laboratory is not available. And the third is was also found some internal factor coming from students, such as students having difficulty in understanding the material explained by teacher. Fourth, other obstacle relates to students lacking vocabulary, not understanding the correct sentence structure, grammar, and low exposure to English used in and out of the classroom. Okay, and the next is research problem and research purpose. And the first research problem is how is TEFL practice at Tuwuh Education Foundation? And the second is how do English teachers at Tuwuh Education Foundation assess student English progress in different settings? And the third is what are obstacles experienced by English teachers at Tuwuh Education Foundation in teaching English in different settings? And the next is about research purpose. According to the problems mentioned above, the objective of research are one is to describe TEFL practice at Tuwuh Education Foundation, and the second is to know how the English teachers assess student English progress in TEFL Tuwuh Education Foundation, and the third is to describe the obstacle of TEFL in different settings at Tuwuh Foundation. Okay, and the next is about research design. And this type of research was qualitative research. The research that used was descriptive qualitative research. Descriptive qualitative research is a research with a case study method or approach. This research focuses intensively on one particular object to study it as a case. Case study data can be obtained from all parties concerned. In other words, this research will be collected from various sources.
Okay, the next is source of data. Number one, primary data. Primary data source are data that taken directly by researchers to the source without any intermediaries by digging up original information and sources directly through respondents. Primary data were obtained through interview and direct field observation. Number two, secondary data. Secondary data sources are indirect data that can provide additional data to strengthen the research. Secondary data were obtained through documentation and literature research with the help of print and internet media as well as field notes. Then the next is technique of data analysis. Number one, data collection. In the first model analysis, according to research question, interview, observation, result, and various documents was collected based on classification. Number two, data reduction. Data reduction is a form of analysis that can improve, classify, guide, delete unnecessary data, and organize data. Number three, data representation. Data representation is a series of information organizations that allow research to draw a conclusion. And then the last is the conclusion. In accordance with the data obtained, TEFL in different settings in Tuwuh Foundation is implemented in a conductive manner, including learning steps in TEFL at different settings divided into three stages, namely preliminary, core, and closing. The EFL teacher assessment methods at Tuwuh in formal settings were summative method, which assesses student development at the end of a certain period, and summative consisting of practice, test, and exam. Some of the inhibiting factor faced by teacher in implementing TEFL in different settings in Tuwuh came from schools and regulation issued by the foundation itself, such as lack of infrastructure facilities that available in schools and the limited access of students to use electronic media. I think that's all from us. Thanks for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.